the best.
Okay.
I've got hearing aids, but they don't always work very well with regard to comprehension.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay.
Anyway,
That's
so you
okay.
know.
Okay. What are some of the most important lessons that you feel you've learned in your life?
Say again.
What are some of the most important lessons you've learned in your life?
The most important part?
The
Lesson.
most lessons.
Like-
Lessons that you've learned in your life.
That's a good question. Moderation, I guess.
Everything in moderation, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
What was the biggest turning point in your life?
Pardon?
What was the biggest turning point in your life?
That's a good question, too. Hard questions.
And he could keep going if you want him to go to the next question. He
you
has
just want me to skip. I got plenty of questions.
to ask. So if you want to go back to that one.
Think about it a little bit. Well, one of the most important was when I got out of the service and had my first job other than the military.
What branch were you in?
Air Force.
Oh, okay. Were you a pilot?
No, I was a weather forecaster.
Oh.
From IIT, my major was physics, but I got a direct commission, had 2 months of officer basic military course in Lackland in Texas, and then spent the first year of my military service at home going to the University of Chicago, getting a year in meteorology.
Oh.
And I probably would have stayed in that except for the fact that it would involve shift work, which I didn't care for at all. But my major was physics, but I was interested in nuclear physics and that sort of thing, but it took me 7 or 8 years to find out I wasn't going anywhere with it. And eventually got into computers, programming.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Tom likes all the science classes.
The departure from the military was to the Savannah River plant in South Carolina, where at that time they were producing plutonium for bombs,
Yes.
and tritium for H-bombs. There were 5 reactors, and that's where I was the first 5 years. But that just is the beginning of a long story. But go ahead.
Yeah.
To the next question.
That's a great answer. Wow. Interesting work.
What would you say are some major values or principles that you live by?
Major values?
Or principles that you live by, like on a day-to-day basis?
Tough questions. Again, I think moderation would probably be the best answer.
Okay. What are some of the most important decisions or choices that you've learned from? What are some of the most important decisions that you've learned from in your life?
Well, gets into another long chain of events. When we left Savannah River, South Carolina, I was hired by NASA in Cleveland in a group which, as it turned out, was really not something that I fitted into very well. It involved more engineering than physics. And I eventually got into programming in scientific programming in Fortran there. And about 9 or 10 years later, when they had a reduction in force, it included a lot of their programmers who were mainly Fortran programmers, scientific programmers. And since those were a lot of the people that were being let go, they had a 2-week crash course in commercial programming in COBOL. And anyone, they didn't have to be a programmer at the time, anyone who was being let go could participate in that. So I did, and ended up being hired by a gentleman who was the, well, he was a couple of very, very long time close friends of the family, who was the head of the programming department at what was then Clement Stone's empire, Combined Insurance. And after about, well, let's see, 5, 10, I don't know, about 10 years there, I guess, I decided I won't go into the reasons, but I decided to look someplace else, and purely by chance ran into somebody who was what do you call him, somebody who was looking for hires. And in this case, it was programming hires. And he was working for the American College of Surgeons, or he was looking for people that the American College of Surgeons wanted to hire as programmers. So it turned out that I was the first professional programmer analyst that the American College of Surgeons hired when they got their own computer. They were farming out everything. And that was just an ideal situation. They had maybe, I don't know, about 120 people at that time. And so it was small enough that you got to meet everybody. And it was just a wonderful place to work. And that was where I retired from in 1991, a little before my 60th birthday.
How many years there? How many years did you have with them?
About 10 years.
Okay.
10 years.
Was that your favorite job?
That was by far my favorite job, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
Wonderful place to work.
No, for me, for college, I want to go into computer engineering, actually.
Pardon?
For college, I'm going into computer engineering.
You're going into computer engineering?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my college graduation, when I got through with college, it was just a year or two early for that. I don't think there were very many colleges at all that had computer science at that point.
Right.
If there had been, I probably would have gone into it, and things would have worked out very differently. But it was just a little bit early for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the happiest moment of your life?
The happiest what?
Moment of your life.
Happiest
Moment.
moment
of your life.
Well, I suppose I would have to say when we got married, which was 55.
Oh, 1955.
So,
good.
This will be our 63rd anniversary this October.
Okay.
Who is the person that influenced you most in your life?
Who what?
Who is the person that influenced you the most?
Influenced me?
Yes.
Well, I think both my mother and dad, but probably my dad more than anything else. My dad was, never got beyond grade school, but I think his first job was with American Express as a, I don't know what you called them in those days.
Salesman? Was he a salesman for them?
No. Anyway, he eventually got into banking, and at the time of the big, when all the banks went broke, went away, he was working for I think it was called the State Bank downtown. And the State Bank closed, but he never lost a day of work. He was hired by the American National Bank and Trust Company, which doesn't exist anymore. They were bought out a long, long time ago. But he retired the last 3 years as an officer of that bank. But he never got beyond grade school.
Oh, wow.
He was one of 6 kids, I think 4 boys and 2 girls. And he grew up in what was at the time a very, well, it became a slum later, the near South Side, you know, close to where Mayor Daley used to live. But the slum part of it, you always went past those buildings on the Rock Island Railroad on your way downtown.
Right.
And there were all these.
Was it Cabrini Green?
Kind of,
Was it Cabrini Green?
no, that was a different.
Okay.
That was near north, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
This was along the Rock Island line in
Right.
the south from about, I don't know, 30th to 35th.
Yeah, by
that area.
Comiskey Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right near Comiskey Park.
Right.
Yeah. That was where he grew up.
What was your first job?
My first job was in the military. Not counting that, it was with DuPont. DuPont was the contractor with the Atomic Energy Commission at Savannah River in South Carolina. And that was, after the military, that was our first house. And
How did you end up down there?
How'd we end? Well, that's where.
Your wife is from?
No, that's where Savannah River was.
So you got a job there and you moved?
Well, yeah, we were in Kansas City my last 2 years in the military.
Oh.
Which was a Air Defense Command base, I think. And so when I got out of the military, we went to South Carolina at Savannah River.
Okay. But you're originally from Chicago, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born in Roseland.
Oh, so were the Coogans.
Okay.
Our family, 126th in Wentworth.
Okay. That's not Roseland Hospital. Roseland was on 111th Street, I think, near Michigan Avenue,
Yeah.
State Street.
Okay. All right.
My mother always said it was the hottest day of the year, August 5th.
What in school? What sports did you like to play, or did you play sports?
My only claim to fame in high school sports, they had YMCA clubs, and I joined one of them as a senior in high school, and I won the table tennis championship.
Oh, did you? Very good.
And they're just getting a new table tennis set here, put on top of the billiard table.
Oh, so yeah, you could be
another guy to play with.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it this
You'll
week.
be back in action, huh? What high school did you go to?
Morgan Park.
Oh, okay.
Morgan Park High School.
Yeah, right down the street.
Yeah.
Do you remember any fads from your youth, like popular clothing that like went and died?
Any
and
facts
stuff?
from where?
Fads.
Any fads? Like what was popular
Like
when you
what
were
was popular
younger?
and then, like,
Like
died out later?
haircuts or
Fads.
Yeah.
clothing or
Not really.
no?
I was very averse to getting involved in fads. I was sort of a
Independent.
yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was school like for you as a kid?
Pardon?
What was school like when you were a kid?
What was
What was
school like?
for you when you were a kid?
Well, my grade school was Kussold,
Oh.
which was almost completely white at the time. But then I went to Morgan Park High School, which at that time was maybe 20-25% African American. And it was a very good school, and from what I understand, it still is.
Yeah.
But now there are probably more Hispanics there than there are blacks.
Oh.
It's probably 15% white, maybe 35% Hispanic, and the rest
African American. Huh.
What was your favorite thing to do for fun as a kid?
For fun?
Yeah.
Well, we had softball in the street. And, at one time, there was a bunch of us that got together and played the baseball team from the academy.
Oh.
And that was a total disaster.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But in high school, I played golf a lot. At the Rock Island Railroad had a 9-hole course over in it was in the southeast corner of Blue Island. 9 holes. They had one five par, one 3 par, and this was while I was in high school. I think one day I played 5 rounds of golf.
Oh, wow. You really liked it, huh?
I played golf a little bit with my dad later on, but I haven't played golf
Since
for 40 years.
you didn't
No.
stick with it, huh?
I was a double bogey golfer.
Oh. Yeah, no, I caddy.
Pardon?
I caddy.
Tom caddies at
Yeah,
Ridge
Ridge.
Country Club.
Yeah. I've been caddying there for the past 4
Oh,
years.
caddy.
Yeah.
You were a caddy.
Yes. What world events had the most impact on you? What world events had the most impact on you? Like the Cold War and stuff like that, Vietnam, World War II.
9/11.
I'm thinking I could say the Trump presidency.
Yeah, that's a world
Which was
event.
a negative effect.
Right. I mean, that's
Um,
he keeps you interested, and it's easy to watch him every day, isn't it?
Other than that, I don't know. One of the most significant events that I can remember is when the Berlin Wall came down.
Oh.
I think we were traveling in the east, possibly with my mother, when that happened, and that was really a very an event that I think everybody remembered where they were at the time, like the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
Next question.
Oh, okay. Where and when did you get married?
Where? In Blue Island,
And
Oh.
1955, October.
okay.
How many years have you been married?
63 in October.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Do you have any children?
We had 2 girls. One of the girls, who's in northeast Wisconsin near Minocqua,
Oh.
had 2 boys. The other one is in Hanover Park. She had 2 girls.
Oh, nice.
The 2 boys are in, one is in Washington State near Seattle, and the other one's in the Denver area. And the 2 girls, neither one is married yet. We think the older one is going to be married, is going to be proposed to in Paris this month sometime.
Oh,
They are
nice.
in Colorado.
Okay.
And the other one just got out of the University of North Carolina in Wilmington with a degree in environmental science. And she is working with dolphins in San Diego. She had directly from her graduation. And from what I understand, they are training dolphins to work with Navy SEALs somehow.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
And that's your granddaughter?
that's our granddaughter, the younger
Wow, I
granddaughter.
think
yeah.
she is, that you passed it on to
We have
her,
three
huh?
greats.
Oh,
The boy, the grandson in the Seattle area has a boy and a girl,
okay.
and the other grandson in Colorado has a boy.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's
they're
nice.
all about 3 or 4 years old, I think now.
Uh-huh.
Did you have a honeymoon when you got married?
Yeah, we honeymooned in Miami Beach.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone went to Florida. My mom and dad went to Florida on their honeymoon. Yeah.
Trying to remember the name of the hotel.
Oh.
The hotels were a lot smaller than.
Yeah, for
At least
sure.
that's
Than
where
these
we-
mega hotels nowadays.
Yeah, and I think that was the last question. What was your honeymoon and where did you go?
Yeah. So I think that's
Okay.
everything.
That's everything, sir. Anything else you'd like to say?
A lot of questions I really couldn't answer very satisfactorily.
Oh, no,
you answered
no.
them great.
You did a great job.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Glad to help you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.